How do you create a bar chart in eFORMz? That's what we're going to take a look at in this video. I have open here a sample bar chart project, which is just a blank project for the most part. It has a page, has a blank form, and it has a data file, and it's a XML file from the National Weather Service. Actually, it was retrieved using a web service call from eFORMz. And if you go to minisoft.com/weather, you can get this XML file and a working sample web service call using eFORMz. But we're going to use this results.xml file just to create a bar chart, just to show us how to do that. And so first things first, we're going to need to pick up our value. What do we want to plot with this bar chart here? Well, we're going to want to do the temperature value for this particular series of days here. So we'll right-click value and select Add Variable and OK. And we've got all of our temperatures for a particular time period. And we'll go ahead while we're at it and select Name and right-click and Add Variable. And this will be the name of our bar chart, Daily Maximum Temperature. We'll select OK. We also want to select units because we want everyone to know that we're plotting these temperatures in Fahrenheit, not Celsius. So we'll right-click Units and select Add Variable and OK. And then, of course, we need a time, some sort of time component, right? So we'll do Start Valid Time. We'll right-click that and select Add Variable and OK. Of course, if we look at the Start Valid Time, we'll see that it's quite long. That's going to be very difficult to put on a bar chart. Really, all we need is the month, which is September, and then the day. So we'll go ahead and right-click our variable here, the Start Valid Time variable, and Add Function and Substring. And we just want the day, the month, and the day. So that let's begin at about character number 5 and go for 5 characters. That should pick everything up, and it does. If we look at our variables window, we're picking up the month followed by the day. That's perfect. That's exactly what we need. As far as the name is concerned, Daily Maximum Temperature works pretty well, but I kind of want the units next to that in Fahrenheit. That'll make it a little easier for everyone to track. So if we right-click the name and select Add Function and Concatenate, we can add the units variable to this name variable. So we can select the variable and select Units and OK. And if we move over here, we'll see that Fahrenheit's unfortunately right next to Daily Maximum Temperature. So we'll go ahead and put Fahrenheit in parentheses and give it a little room. So we can right-click our variable, Add Function, and select Insert String. And at about 25, that should be close. At about the 25th character, we'll insert just a parenthesis here. Whoops, did that the wrong way. If we do it, there we go. That works. There, that puts our parenthesis right there. And actually, let's go ahead and give it a space in front of it. There we go. So a little trial and error, and that'll put a little space in front of it with a parenthesis. That looks better. And let's go ahead and complete that by right-clicking and selecting Add Function, Insert String. And we will insert at character position of about 40. We're going to insert the end of that parenthesis. There we go. And it lines up pretty well. Perfect. So that's a cool way of basically adding our unit to our title. That way everyone's going to know that we're measuring this in Fahrenheit. So very, very good to have that. So I think we've got all our information good to go. We've got our temperature, we've got our name, we have our units, and we have our start time, the time that we're plotting. So let's go ahead and build our chart. There are 2 ways to do this. You can right-click the form, and if you want to do using the document template, you can add a component like a paragraph, and select OK. And you can right-click this paragraph and select Add Chart and Bar Chart. That's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is right-clicking in the viewer, the second pane of the viewer, and selecting Add Rule and Bar Chart. If you're using rules, it's best to keep using rules. If you're using the document template, it's best to just use the document template just to keep things consistent. If you haven't established anything on a form, the only thing you're using is a bar chart. It's really up to whatever you're more comfortable with. For this, we'll go ahead and just place it with the document template. So to this paragraph, we will right-click it and select Add Chart and Bar Chart. And here's where we can make all of our modifications. So the width and height are default of 720. We'll put it at 3500. I think that's pretty wide. We want this to be pretty big so we can see everything. Height of about 1500. That'll work. And let's give it some insets of about 200. I think that'll work. And if I just copy that and then just paste it all the way around using Control V there, and that'll work. We want to have a few insets. If we go to the Appearance tab, this is where we can start making some look and feel changes besides just the height and width. For our chart title, we created this. It's our name variable, and we'll just select that. Resolution, the default is 150. I always use the maximum 300. It's really up to you. You can use either vertical or horizontal bars. That's the beauty of bar charts. They depict different values with rectangular bars, and they can be vertical or horizontal. All that matters is that the length of each bar directly corresponds to the value it represents, and that's going to happen no matter what with a bar chart. So we're good there. 3D, I like the 3D look. Maybe you like the flat line look. Again, it's personally up to you. How do you represent these bar types? You can do stack bars, bars one behind the other, or side by side. I kind of like the side by side look. Let's go ahead and adjust the fonts and colors. If we select the chart title font and color, this controls our title, which is Daily Maximum Temperature Fahrenheit. We can keep Courier, the font, keep the size. We'll go ahead and bold it though. As far as the text color, let's just go ahead and select a color just to keep things interesting. We'll give it a nice kind of a bright bluish purple color. That'll work. And the legend, we'll go ahead and we can keep that as is. And the samples label font and color, we'll go ahead and keep that as is also. The range labels font and color, we can adjust that later if we need to, but we'll just keep that there for now. Background color, gray is okay. Chart foreground color, black, that's fine. Background color, white. Again, you can adjust all these things just as I show with the chart title font and color. We'll keep the defaults for now. It's not going to look good, but we can edit it at a later date. If we go to the Data tab, this is where we really put the finishing touches on everything. The sample count, I want to show 7 temperatures at a time. I think that's pretty good. Bar width, 0 to 99, 50 is the default. I'm going to leave that as is. We're going to use, instead of delimited text for labels, and this is if you were representing a year, for example, you could just put Jan, comma, Feb, comma, March, comma, and so you could do that as your labels. That's a very common thing to do in bar charts, but we already have our delimited text, if you will, our label, and that is the start time that we had, which is just the September followed by the day. So we'll go ahead and select the start valid time variable. And then the most important thing is the data series. What are we actually plotting? Well, if we select new, we are going to use an occurring variable for data, and that's going to be our value variable that we created. And series name, we'll go ahead and give it the name temperature and Fahrenheit. That works pretty well there, and we'll select OK. And if we select OK, there we go. We've created a bar chart. And again, it's not the best looking bar chart, as we see. You can definitely adjust the colors as you see fit, but that is plotting the temperature. So it looks like it's going to have a few hot days in September there. That looks nice. So that is just a quick way of placing a bar chart in the eFORMz Composer.